State government has sealed 2 hospitals for using unqualified personnel and operating with Bori in Kana local government area and St. Thomas Hospital in Eleme local government area. The Rivers State Ministry of Health said it sealed the hospitals in the state because the proprietor operated the facility without the requisite training and qualifications and warned public and the private sector, as well as religious bodies, corporate entities and non-governmental organizations to henceforth desist from carrying out any form of medical outreach without a written approval from the State Ministry of Health. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Adeze Ore, who disclosed this at a news briefing in Port Harcourt, noted that the Adewon Hospital in Bori was operating, but the facilities have been working without proper licensing. Those concerned are prosecuted to serve as deterrent. However, present at the briefing were the state's chairman of the Nigerian Medical Association, Dr. Diamond Tamno Kuro, and the Director of Medical Services, Rivers State Ministry of Health, who doubles as the chairman Anti-Quackery Committee in the state, Dr. Vincent Nwachuku. Analysts have blamed the recent bombing of the APP Secretariat in Rivers State on the enemies of democracy. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network's program, Open Conversation, a political analyst, Wisdom Lan, stated that the recent explosion of the party secretariat was masterminded by enemies of democracy in the state.
Not a good one at all. And I must say that it is those who are enemies of democracy, especially those who are enemies of the people in Rivers State. Because Nigeria today, like we know, we are running a multi-party system, and there are over number of political parties that, are in existence both in Rivers State and Nigeria at large.
Wisdom Land also highlighted reasons of the explosion following rumors of Governor Fubara's planned defection to the Action People's Party.
Because it's been ringing everywhere
for lack of merit. Diri insisted before the Apex Court that Silva's appeal was barred beyond redemption as no witness or documents supported his request being made at the court. At Monday's proceedings, Governor Diri represented by Charles Edoshonwon, the People's Democratic Party represented by Tayo Eyetibo San, and all supported the call for the dismissal of the appeal for want of merit. However, Silva, represented by Onyechi Ipazo San, pleaded with the justices to set aside the judgments of the Bayelsa State governorship election petition and the Court of Appeal, which had earlier dismissed his petition. Silva specifically asked the Supreme Court to invalidate the declaration of Diri by INEC as the winner of the gubernatorial polls and declared him as the lawful winner of the election. After taking arguments from the lawyers involved, Justice Garba Lawal deferred judgment till a date that will be communicated to the parties. Nigerian Army 6th Battalion, Ibagwa, has urged residents of Abak local government area of Akwa Ibom State not to panic following the commencement of the demolition of unserviceable ammunition and explosives at the 68th Range area. August 22nd, a statement by the Acting Assistant Director of Army Public Relations, AGMI, titled Demolition of Unserviceable Ordinances, said that unserviceable ammunition and the statement requested the good people of Abak local government area to stay off the designated have been placed and security at the range area and its environs. Labor unions at the Cross River State University of Science and Technology have commenced a 3-day warning strike to press home workers' demands. A statement jointly signed by MAC, Union Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, NASU, SANU, and NAT in the university. The statement also said that the warning strike was intended to sound a message about the neglect, hardship, and pains being faced by the staff of the university. It further listed the operatives of the Delta State Police Commander for the kidnapping attempt by a syndicate of kidnappers in Ohara Kingdom in the Ethiop West local government area of the state, engaging the suspects in a gun duel. The statement signed by the Police Public Relations Officer for Delta State Command, SP Bright Edafe, said on the 13th of August 2024, while students of the Delta State Polytechnic Ohara were celebrating their graduation ceremony, the Divisional Police Officer of Ohara Division, Olasunkomi Musuliu, when a chief superintendent of police received credible information that some suspected kidnappers had already perfected plans to abduct guests attending the ceremony. Acting swiftly on information, Musuliu mobilized and led operatives of the police division to the suspected kidnappers' hideouts in a bush along Otefe Ovade Legit Road, and upon sighting the police, the suspects fled, sustaining various degrees of gunshot injuries during the exchange of gunfire with the police. The police team recovered one AK-47 rifle, one magazine, and one English pump action, and one locally made cut-to-size gun from the suspects. The police statement disclosed that a manhunt for the fleeing suspects is ongoing. Meanwhile, the Delta State Commissioner of Police, CP Olufemi Obaniwanda, while thanking the people of Delta State for their support, urged them to do more by providing useful, credible, and timely information to the police. Delta State Oil Producing Area Development Commission has warned residents against building structures on waterways and dumping waste in drainages. This is coming in the Commission's ongoing efforts to effectively tackle the recurring flood challenges in the state. In a statement issued on Monday by the Desopadec board members representing Urobo ethnic nationality, Sylvester Obie, dredging and clearing projects at Oviri, Agbaro in Ugeli North local government area. The Sopadec's initiatives is part of the Delta State plan to mitigate the effects of flooding and protect communities from the devastating impacts that come with it. The Desopadec board members urge residents to use the approved private sector participation, waste disposal systems, and to consult relevant government agencies before purchasing land to avoid building across waterways. He noted that the government will no longer tolerate the construction of illegal structures that block waterways, causing rainwater to flood homes and contribute to the spread of diseases. He also revealed that a state task force has been established to remove such structures and enforce compliance with regulations. OBA praised the Delta State government under the leadership of Governor Sheriff Oboriwori for initiating desilting operations through the Sopadec to clear blocked canals and allow for free water flow in anticipation of heavy rains. Ahead of the governorship elections in Edo State, the Independent National Electoral Commission has said that the collection of the permanent voters' cards by newly registered voters will commence on August the 22nd, 2024. The INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, who disclosed this at a meeting with the resident electoral commissioners in Abuja, said that the Edo governorship election is scheduled to hold on September 21st, 2024, and a total of 184,438 voters were registered during the recently concluded continuous voters registration in Edo State. The figure included 119,206 new registrations, 8,847 interstate transfers, and 46,171 intrastate transfers. Additionally, 4,808 voters requested corrections to their details, and 5,406 voters applied for replacements of lost or damaged PVCs. Yakubu confirmed that all the newly printed PVCs have been delivered to INEC's office in Benin City and are now available for collection. He announced that from August the 22nd to August the 26th, registered voters could pick up their cards at any of the 192 wards in Edo State from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily, including weekends. After this period, the collection would move to INEC's local government offices across the state, where voters can collect their PVCs from data that includes the names and photographs of all 184,438 voters to streamline the collection process. However, he stressed that PVCs must be collected in person, which is in line with INEC's strict policy to prevent electoral malpractice. He urged voters who took the time to register to also make the effort to collect their PVCs and, more importantly, to participate in the election by vote. Aimed at bringing down the government, the opposition has devised another means of dividing the ruling party and also accused opponents of the current federal administration of engaging in the propagation of fake news so as not to see a seed of discord between chairman died in the United States of America. Omodewu has been in the U.S. since the end of 2023, reportedly receiving treatment for an undisclosed illness. Omodewu became the APC chairman in 2021 and was the Commissioner for Lands and Housing during the administration of ex-Governor Abiola Ajimobi. Ogun State Police commanders apprehended 2 persons on suspicion of their involvement in cult-related activities in Shango-Ota from the Ado-Odo-Ota local government area of the state. The suspects, identified as Abiodun Salami and Destiny Adeola, were arrested by the Ogun State Anti-Robbery Squad after receiving a tip-off from residents in Ijoko. The state command's public relations officer, Omolola Odutola, who disclosed this, said that the 2 individuals were apprehended on August the 8th, 2024. Odutola, along with other members of the Eye confraternity who gathered at a location, pleaded not guilty to the charge. The chief magistrate, Mr. Patrick Adeko Maye, granted bail to the defendants in the sum of 500,000 naira each, with 2 sureties each in the like sum. He ordered that one of the sureties should be a community leader with 2 years evidence of tax Lagos State government. Adekomayi adjourned the case until September the 10th for mention. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu said that 20th August 2024, a work-free day to mark this year's Isheshe Day celebration. In a In compliance with the directive of the Lagos State government declaring August 20th a public holiday to mark Isheshe Day, the management of the Lagos State University have shifted papers scheduled for that day as part of the ongoing second semester examinations in the institution. A statement signed by the coordinator, Center for Information and Public Relations, Mrs. Oluwayemisi Thomas Onashile, said that the decision followed the circular from the state government directing compliance with the observance of the holiday. While some states in the southwest region have been declaring holiday to mark the Isheshe Day for some time, this is the first time Lagos State government of a full panel of the court to hear issues raised in paragraphs 428 and 429 in page 16 of the appellant's brief of argument. Akubo said that the appellants are by both paragraphs paying the court to depart from its previous decisions in determining their appeal, and Lagos to the and lawyers to the respondents Kanu Agabi for the INEC, Joseph Daudu for Ododo, and Emmanuel Okala for the APC all described the application as unnecessary and urged the court as presently constituted to proceed to hear the appeal. Ruling Justice Mohammed Lawal Garba, who presided over the five-member panel, noted that the issue in respect of the appellants seek a full panel was issues raised in the appeal. He told the court that as presently constituted could hear attacks by bandits in the Wasai local government area. The police command is yet to react to the death, notified the Nigerian Medical Association, the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of the Senate, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Chairman of the Senate Committee on Health, the Chairman of the House Committee on Health, the Secretary, also written letters to security agencies, the federal government, and the Kaduna State government, but has seen no significant action. During the protests, are not active enough in combating insurgency.
They're not really concerned about the lives and properties of Nigerians. Just look at in a village where you go to bed without, with your both eyes closed now. Ways to be more proactive. They come out, bandits, gunmen, whatever, whether they are herdsmen or whatever they are, start attacking villagers for hours and no police response.
ATN recalls that more than 10 communities in Zamfara State have been kidnapped. A villager, Ahmad Babangida, told newsmen that the bandits stormed the community with sophisticated weapons. Said that the level of destruction was too much. The state lawmaker assured the victims that the State House of Assembly would deliberate on the matter with a view to enabling the state government to come to their aid. He also appealed to the stakeholders, including non-governmental organizations, politicians, and members of the business community, to assist the victims. Governor Muhammadu Yahaya of Gombe State has decorated 2 police officers serving at the government house and represented by the secretary to the government of the state, Professor Ibrahim Njodi. The governor decorated them with their new ranks of Assistant Superintendent of Police, ASP2. The decorated officers include and Taraba. You're watching The Transition on Atlantic Television Network. We'll return shortly after this break. Please stay tuned. Welcome back to Transition News on Atlantic Television Network right here in the city of Port Harcourt. And now to the rest of our stories. Federal government has raised concerns over the increasing number of attacks on humanitarian workers across Nigeria and called for urgent measures to protect those working in conflict zones. The Federal Commissioner of the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Tijani Ahmad, who spoke at a press conference in Abuja to mark the World Humanitarian Day 2024, revealed a disturbing rise in the frequency and severity of attacks on aid workers. This year's campaign, themed Act for Humanity, drew attention to the growing risk humanitarian workers face. Ahmad said that since 2020, there has been 49 reported incidents involving 79 aid workers, with cases ranging from kidnappings and ambushes to fatalities. He recalled that the killing of an aid worker from Medicine's side, the CCT judgment delivered against him on April the 18th, 2019 on various grounds. In his appeal, Justice Onoren, through his lead counsel, Adeboyega Awomolo, said he's asking the appellate court to quash his conviction primarily on grounds of want of jurisdiction, bias, and absence of fair hearing, And with Onoge as the appellant, the federal government of Nigeria is the sole. A notice for hearing of the appeal just cited by the newsman is entitled Justice Onoge and the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It reads, "Please take notice that the above matter is listed for hearing on Tuesday, the 20th day of August 2024 at 9 o'clock in Court of Appeal, Abuja Division. The Code of Conduct Tribunal had in 2019 convicted Onoge in all 6 count charges of breach of Code of Conduct for public officers brought against him by the federal government while in office as the head of the country's judiciary. In the lead judgment delivered by the chairman of the CCT, Danladi Yakubu Umar, he had ordered that the immediate removal of Onoge from office as the CJN. The tribunal had also stripped him of all offices earlier occupied, amongst which were the chairman of the National Judicial Council and also the chairmanship of the Federal Judicial Service Commission. However, dissatisfied with the CCT's decision, Onoge in 2019 approached the Court of Appeal in Abuja with 16 grounds on why his conviction by the tribunal should be quashed. Amongst others, he maintained that the Danladi Umar-led CCT panel erred in law and occasioned a miscarriage of justice against him when it failed to decline jurisdiction to entertain the 6 counts against him. He contended that the CCT chairman ought to have recused himself from presiding over his trial. Nigeria Labour Congress have summoned what it described as an emergency National Executive Council meeting following the invitation of its national president, Joe Ajaero, by the police for allegedly financing terrorism. The NEC meeting will be held by 8 a.m. on Tuesday, with all heads of affiliates and state chapters of NLC expected to be in attendance today. The notice of the meeting, titled Notice of Emergency National Executive Council Meeting, was signed by the NLC's Secretary General, Emmanuel Obuaja, and said that Ajaero was invited by the police on charges connected to the criminal conspiracy, terrorism financing, treasonable felony, subversion, and cybercrime. The letter of invitation dated August the 19th, 2024, and signed by ACP Adamu Muazu on behalf of the Commissioner of Police Intelligence said that Ajaero's name was mentioned in ongoing investigations connected to criminal conspiracy, terrorism financing, treasonable felony, subversion, and cybercrime. Accordingly, the letter directed Ajaero to report to the IRT complex abattoir by Guzape Junction on Tuesday, August 20th at 10 a.m., threatening that a warrant of arrest would be issued against him if he failed to report. While this is coming after security agents on July the 7th conducted a night raid on the NLC National Secretariat in Abuja, and the police took responsibility for the operation, saying that it was aimed at uncovering incriminating documents that could help build a case against an international subversive. Former governor of Anambra State and 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, has raised concerns over the recent announcement by the West African Examinations Council revealing a 7.69% decrease in the performance of candidates who sat for the 2024 West African Senior School Certificate Examination in Nigeria. This is coming after WAEC had announced the release of